The Film Basement is filmed in sunny West Hartford, Connecticut, in front of a live studio audience.
I should have asked if you wanted us to start reading that as they're... Oh, never mind. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Filmmaker's Basement. I'm Brandon Gasparino.
And I am Edward Webb. And on today's show, we have some entertainment to get to.
So, we are at the start of the annual Oscar push. According to Screen Rant, Joker is campaigning for the Best Picture, Director, and Actor. Disney is currently trying to push Robert Downey Jr. for Best Actor in Avengers Endgame after not initially. Disney is trying to get the Best Supporting Actor spot with Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Jeremy Renner, Josh Brolin, Paul Rudd, and Don Cheadle. They're also putting up Scarlett Johansson, Gwyneth Paltrow, Zoe Saldana, Karen Gillan, and Brie Larson for Best Supporting Actresses. Adam Driver has been put up for Best Actor in The Marriage Story, Robert De Niro in The Irishman, and countless other movies. The nominations for the 92nd Oscar Awards will be announced on January 13th. The Oscars will air on February 9th. So Eddie, do you have any ideas of who you want to be going in the Oscars and all that?
Honestly, after Green Book won last year, I really don't care about the Oscars. It's all about the Independent Spirit Awards. But when it comes to the nominees that we just heard, I'm not very shocked. A lot of people are shocked that they're kind of just throwing out anybody for Avengers, even Gwyneth Paltrow, who's in like 2 seconds of it.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, when you make the highest grossing film of all time, you just kind of swing for the fences. So yeah. I respect it.
It kind of feels like the Black Panther move last year, where they're just like, if we just push everything, like somebody's got to win something.
They got to take something. And for the Joker, I wouldn't be surprised if the Joker cleans up at the Oscars. The right people seem to love that movie.
Yeah.
And the Joker already does have a history of winning Oscars. So.
That is true, but I don't know about like Best Film or anything like that for Joker. Like it wasn't that good. Like
neither was Green Book or Black Panther.
That is true.
Or Bohemian Rhapsody.
You're very correct. Yeah, the Oscars nowadays don't really seem to be about giving the award out to who's best. It's more like who has the best campaign.
Yeah. And as for Donald Glover. As for Donald Driver of Patterson fame, that's more my speed. All these comic book movies I could do without. I like movies that seem like they have nothing to do with plot.
Like The Lighthouse.
Kind of happen. So I'll be really happy for Adam Driver. And Marriage Story is actually getting pretty good reviews. So look out for that one.
Adam Driver's just a good actor in general. Like he kind of deserves an Oscar at this point. Like I really loved him in BlacKkKlansman. Like he did a fantastic job, and I don't remember if he actually won anything for the Oscars that year.
No, he did not, but he did get the nod.
Really
Mahershala Ali won Best Supporting, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well I think he should have. I think he really had the right stuff to get into there on that one. I mean, besides that, like, do you have any like ideas of who else could be nominated for this? Do you have any of your own actually?
I think The Irishman will sweep up. We kind of glossed over Bobby De Niro there. I think The Irishman will do pretty good. Other than that, I haven't really been keeping up with potential Oscar-winning movies, so might have to come back to you next week for that.
Yeah, same. Part of me kind of wants The Lighthouse to get like at least some kind of nod at the Oscars.
I think
it
could sneak in there. Maybe Best Original Screenplay.
It could, something like that. I think cinematography would actually be a really good one for that one. It's a really pretty looking movie, but it's also just like really weird. I don't know if anyone's going to be really campaigning for it to be like, yes, this is the movie we're going to be pitching towards the Oscars. Like,
I could see A24 just being like, just throw like some money for a campaign.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my hope. Besides that, I mean, I'm trying to remember what else has come out this year that would be like really good for the running. Like what movies have we actually gotten besides like Avengers Endgame?
I'm trying to think of some movies that came out earlier in the year that we might have forgotten about. Which seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, right.
Like right now.
It's been a long year. At least it feels like it has. So
maybe us, since the Academy seems to like Jordan Peele.
Hey, I mean it's entirely possible. I mean some of us might be deserving of an Oscar award.
I love you, Lupita.
Wait, who?
Lupita. The star of Us.
The star
anyway.
Of Us. Oh, that movie. I forgot about that movie.
Wait, do you think I meant Us?
Yeah.
All right, that's our movie news. So last week, I had the privilege of interviewing a local filmmaker and fellow University of Hartford student, AlTariq Harris. And here is the interview that we did. Welcome to the Filmmaker's Basement. I am one half of the machine that runs this show. And today I am with dear friend, AlTariq Harris, who was also the animator of our logo and probably the best naturally born storyteller that I ever met.
That's the most beautiful thing anyone has ever said to me, you know that?
I
really
try to say
appreciate it.
beautiful things.
You do. You do a great job. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for showing up.
You're gonna shake my hand on air? This is like real commitment.
So what are you working on at the moment, Tariq?
Must be some good Canada Dry. Right now I'm working on my film, my second student film titled Share My World, based on the Mary J. Blige song of the same name. I figured it'd probably be appropriate to do another Mary J. Blige song since the first year I got here. I did one based on the record My Life, even though it wasn't called My Life. There was like a lot of things that went wrong in that period, but you know, yeah, I'm working on that and like along with just everything that goes on with my animation analysis channel on YouTube that I run. Where I just like talk about different animated shows and like just like the things they tried to do and like put like a different spin and perspective on it that you don't really hear when you when this type of stuff is brought up.
Hey, I love that. I love that. What is this channel's name, by the way?
It's I gotta say the name, don't I? I'm not. You know, the crazy thing is like I'm really not proud of the name. It's something I came up with when I was 14. It's called AlTariq Tariq.
I think that's a beautiful name.
I don't. Come on, ask me a question, man. We got it.
What video are you most proud on this channel?
Okay, so my favorite video that I did on the channel was there's one based on the 1995 adaptation of the Fleischer cartoon Little Lulu. I did one based on the animated version from HBO called The Little Lulu Show. And I kind of like, in the beginning of the video, I do like a whole bunch of, just like a history lesson of the character and like all the different variations and adaptations. And I think I'm so happy with it because it was something I really wanted to talk about because it's a show that like is really essential to my growth as an artist. And like, if you look at it and you look at the way that it was ran and the way that it was drawn, you could kind of like just see little traces of what I took from it in the work. And I think that kind of like comes out in the video, you know. I think that's like, I'm just really, really proud of it. Like every time I look back on it, it just like makes me laugh every time.
It's a great video.
Thank you.
What was the exact name of the video for those who might want to watch it?
It's the Little Lulu Show in all caps. You can't forget the caps, because that's how you catch people's attention. And then there's parentheses, okay, and then it says 1995. And you ready for the second part? Okay,
No.
The second part, after 1995, after the parentheses, it says review. You can't forget that either, because that's what it is. It's a review. So yes, that's the title of the video on the AlTariq Tariq channel.
That's beautiful. When did you know that you want to, you know, be involved with? You're a man that wears many hats, so it's not really easy to ask you when did you know you want to get involved with this because you're involved with many things. But I guess I say when did you know you want to be involved with actual animation?
Oh, honestly, like as long as I can remember, my grandma used to tell this story all the time that she taught me how to draw when I was 1. And like ever since then, that's kind of just like all I did. My interests never like really went anywhere else. You know, like growing up on like the Charlie Brown specials and stuff like Felix the Cat and that kind of stuff is just always kind of like really fascinated me down to the point where I would like break DVDs because I would like pause and like keep like going frame by frame to see how they did it. Like I ruined a lot of DVDs. You ever heard of like, you ever heard of the comic strip Heathcliff? It's like
Yes.
it's like Orange the Cat, but it's not Garfield. And like he had a show in the 80s and I like had that DVD and it's totaled. Like I just kept pausing and skip. I don't know why I was so fascinated by the way Heathcliff was animated, but like that's what I did to it, and I did that to a lot of other ones. So yeah, I've always just, as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to do this.
How does it felt to blend in both animation and live action? Is it, because I know the stress of being a live action filmmaker. I cannot imagine just how painfully stressful it must be to have to juggle both.
Yeah, like sometimes really it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to do like a hybrid where they're both on screen at the same time, like that type of thing, it just takes like a lot of planning and like a lot of things that you really don't take into consideration. I remember when I tried that with the first film I did here, and I would kind of like mess up the eye line, or sometimes my design that I chose for the animated character wouldn't. For instance, I would have like Sharon do like a stand-in, and like the character would like open his mouth, but you could kind of see Sharon's face like behind his mouth. Like that type of stuff you really gotta like be careful of, and just like making it seem believable and making it seem like they're in the same plane. But like otherwise, like the last film we did, when we did Back to You, it was kind of just sort of incorporating different animated segments in between. And I always, honestly, it may seem weird, but the animation stuff is actually like the easiest thing to me because I don't have to talk to anyone.
That's fair.
I heard, you know who John Lovitz is?
No.
Okay, so John Lovitz is a comedian, and he guest starred on The Simpsons a bunch of times. And he told this joke on one of the audio commentaries where he said, like, how do you direct animation? Do you just like yell at the drawing and say your line faster? And obviously you don't. So like that's kind of like been like, I've always kind of used that quote to be the reason why I prefer animation, is just because I don't have to like, it's just like less faces that I have to deal with, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to like be nervous, like, oh, am I gonna hurt this person's feelings?
Yeah.
Like I can just draw the feelings and like no one's hurt except maybe my hand because I'm tired.
That's a quick shout out to friend of the show, Sharon Rush, who was just mentioned in the prior short. Very talented writer.
Friend of the show. Am I a friend of the show?
You're a close acquaintance of the show.
I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like you should just ask me more questions because now my feelings are hurt.
What are you anticipating with your new short, Share My World?
That's a weird question. I don't even really. It's not a weird question. I don't want to make you feel bad. It's just
Kinda
like I didn't. I don't know. It's like I remember when we did Back to You. Our professor was really adamant on me trying to like get the artist to see it, and like I actively tried, and then like it kind of just like didn't really go out that way. And I tried not to have my hopes up that big for Share My World, just because like if I can't get this unknown artist to see this movie, I don't think I can get Mary J. Blige to see my other one. But I don't know. I just feel, I kind of just want it to be a different way for people to see me as a storyteller in a way. Because even with like Back to You, just like the way that the jokes fly and stuff like that, and even though there's like heart at the end for the latter half of it, I kind of wanted to make something that kind of shows just how heartfelt but simple at its core and kind of universal. I wanted to make something that like everybody could kind of like use to pick apart and like connect to in a different way. So yeah, you know, that's mostly like really my anticipation is just like seeing if people get what I'm trying to do and like feel that from what they see.
It's a very nice answer to a very weird question.
I didn't mean to disrespect you on your own platform. You know, you got the Timbs on. I don't want you to like kick me.
on my own platform, and it happens.
I don't want you to kick me. You got like the Timbs on. You're sitting on these like beautiful chairs. It's like a fern. Is this a fern? What kind of plant is this?
I'm not a ophthalmologist. I think that's what
I can't believe you just said that
is.
word to me in my face. I can't believe you just did that to me in 2019.
What would you like to do when you graduate?
When I graduate, I would like to get a studio apartment with my girlfriend and get a cat named Larsa Freebands.
We don't need to know the explanation on the name.
No, it's very important to the. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Honestly, like I always kind of wanted. I always went back and forth as a kid what kind of animation job I wanted, because I didn't really want to be an animator because it's like extremely tedious, but I did want to make cartoons. And then I realized, especially like nowadays, a lot of cartoons are storyboard driven, which means that they don't write the scripts anymore, really. The storyboard artist kind of like writes all the dialogue and like figures everything out. They get the outline and they go and do everything. Steven Universe is like that. Phineas and Ferb was like that. There are a lot of animated shows that are like that, and I really like that as well. But if I had to write scripts, that would be cool. But I really do want to be a board artist. I feel like that would be like the best thing for me.
That's great to hear. It's kind of heartbreaking for me because I still think you're one of the best storytellers of all time. So, well, at least of our generation.
Yes, you're beautiful when you say that. You know.
So it is kind of sad for me to hear that. So 'cause I want to see a lot of your stories come to screen.
They would the weird thing is like I always kind of wanted to do like animated films or like long form like animated films like theatrical stuff or whatever. But the older I got, the more like attached I became to like television and like just the fact that you can like be with these characters for so long and then like finales of shows are just like my favorite things ever because they always kind of like make me really emotional because when you realize
man.
like I am very emotional, man.
You don't know how to stuff down your feelings.
Of course not. Why would I ever do that? You know what I mean?
You want to be a real man.
No, I think the one time I ever made fun of somebody for crying during a movie was like me and my friends, we took like his little brother to go see Home. You ever see Home, the DreamWorks movie?
With Rihanna?
Yeah, we took the little kid to go see Home, and then like the Jim Parsons alien is like getting like, I guess he like got stuck somewhere or he's about to die, and then I turn around, I'm like, is he crying? Little kid has like Denzel tear like coming out of his eye. Like, don't cry
a very emotional movie.
Over Home. Home is an awful movie. But other than that, I love the connection that people have to like the characters that are not in Home.
Well, again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I wish we could talk a little longer.
We can like actually keep talking as soon as the cameras go off.
Well, now you're breaking the illusion that everything ends after the show.
Copy.
So
you can
thanks for
delete that.
We really built that up here, and then you just kind of knocked it down.
I might have looked at the wrong camera just now too.
Do you want to plug your social media, man?
Sure, why not? So you can follow me on Instagram, tunes.reek, but the O's are zeros. Also it's kind of, now I mean, my bio on Instagram is art specifically for the artistic, art specifically for the autistic or artistic, I can't spell. So there's that.
That's very edgy.
Thank you, man. Also, there's my YouTube channel, Toonrific Tariq, TOONRIFIC TARIQ, where I post at least 2 videos a month doing a bunch of animated analysis. And on Twitter, my initials, TSH678. And thank you for having me on your platform. I really appreciate it. You're a very dear friend of mine.
I appreciate it.
I really like your boots. This is a nice plant.
They are pretty nice.
You know, I feel warm. It's a warm welcome. Thank you for having me. Shake my hand, please.
Okay. His hands are very clammy.
I'll show you a clam.
Again, thank you for coming to our basement. Brandon Gasparino's not here, but I am here, and I will always be here for you to talk about film. I'm signing out. Au revoir.
That's not how you don't au revoir.
Well, that was a fascinating interview, Eddie. So this upcoming weekend, we've got a couple new movies coming out. So we got Ford versus Ferrari, The Good Liar, and the Charlie's Angels reboot coming out?
Yes, reboot.
Yeah, that seems like the right word for it. Are you excited for anything that's coming out this weekend, or?
I'm actually pretty excited to see Charlie's Angels. And was it Ford
versus Ferrari, yeah.
Both of those seem pretty good. I kind of want to see what Elizabeth Banks could do with the Charlie's Angels franchise. It's sort of just been one of those that it seemed like it would be right up my alley, but I just never watched any of them because I just heard they weren't great. So it'd be nice to see her take on it. I think she did a pretty good job with the Pitch Perfect movies, the ones that she did direct. So I like to see if that now that she's given like a chance to do a higher budget film, what she could do with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like I haven't seen any of the Charlie's Angels movies like you, and I mean, the trailers look kind of cool for it. I'm kind of interested to see where it goes and like what it'll do. So maybe one of us will do a review of it for next week, or see one of the other cool movies that are out right now, because we've got a lot of different things out in theaters at the moment. Like, let's see. I know I still want to see like Doctor Sleep, JoJo's Rabbit, all that stuff. Yeah.
If I could find a theater that's playing The Irishman, I would like to see that 3-hour-long movie in the theater.
God, I don't know if I could handle that. That seems like it's too much for me. It's too long.
I once watched like a 5-hour-long movie, so I feel like I'm prepared for this.
What movie?
Satan Tango, the Bela Tarr film.
Oh wow, that sounds like a hefty ordeal.
It is.
Oh,
I just did it because I don't like myself. Apparently.
That's a fair assessment there. And on that note, we want to thank you guys for watching The Filmmaker's Basement. I'm Brandon Gasparino.
And I'm Edward Webb.
And we hope to see you guys next week.